What's up YouTube? How goes it? Boy oh boy, 2021 has just begun and it's been absolutely crazy. Most recently, everyone is furious and venting and confused, and there's chaos around WhatsApp's newest privacy policy, which has everyone losing their minds. And I'm here to explain why people are losing their minds, why there's frustration, why there's confusion, and of course why some people are indifferent to it altogether. So if you want an oversimplified understanding of what's going on, what it means for you as the end user, a consumer, and an individual in general, how it affects your privacy and day-to-day life, stay tuned. As always, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing to my channel, because I promise you there's plenty of good stuff in this video and in my channel in general. Let's get started. Now, to understand why people were so furious and all the chaos around this, we have to look at the core of the issue, which is basically WhatsApp's new privacy policy that was slated to go in effect on February 8th, but has now been postponed to mid-May. So basically, in this privacy policy, which a number of you may have already been prompted to see already, it said that, hey, we're updating our privacy policy, but the key change here was that WhatsApp's parent company, Facebook, would now essentially be allowed to use all of its metadata for its own purposes, which primarily consists of advertising, which is how Facebook makes most of its revenue. Now, people were furious about this for two primary reasons. The first one, and the most prominent one, was that you had no say in this. Basically, WhatsApp gave you this prompt and you could either agree to it today or you could agree to it by or before February 8th. And if by February 8th you did not agree to these terms of services, you would be kicked out of WhatsApp and be unable to use it until you agreed to it. Basically, this means you don't get a say and WhatsApp saying too bad, suck it up or leave. Unfortunately, in your case, a lot of people left pretty fast, and I think this May postponement kind of speaks to that. The second reason people are upset, which really is a lack of awareness on the user side in my opinion, is that people are like, wait, what? My data? Wait, you're telling me that WhatsApp has my data and they use it for other purposes? And a lot of people are upset about this because they don't understand that data, metadata to be specific, is used all the time by primary social services like Google, Microsoft, Apple, and various other companies for that matter. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and all these services that you like to use day-to-day basis actually use your activity data, also known as metadata. Now, they use it for different purposes and to different extents, but it's all relative. Now, we're going to talk about what metadata would be in the context of WhatsApp. Hopefully, you're following along, but let's talk about metadata for a second. So basically, metadata consists of anything around the context of your primary message in the case of WhatsApp. So let's say you message your friend in the evening saying, hey buddy, wanna go out for sushi with me? And your buddy says, yes, I do. Now, no, WhatsApp cannot read those messages. They do not have access to the context of those messages. They can't see what you told your buddy and what your buddy said in return. However, metadata is everything around that context. What time did you send the message? Who did you send it to? Which one of your contacts did you send it to? And of course, what area were you in? What area was your buddy in? How often do you message this person? What time did you read the message? All this is overhead information around the context of your message, or metadata. And this is the information that companies like WhatsApp primarily track. And this kind of makes what would be called an activity log. It determines your activity, your usage, how often you do something, how often you don't do something, when you do something, the peak times. And all this information kind of draws a story about you, the user. And this doesn't happen overnight. This is over days, weeks, months, and even years. Everything about you is a story to them. Now, your information is protected in the sense of, what context you're getting again. So if you are having a video call on WhatsApp or a voice call, none of the information that you're actually saying or showing is being recorded. It's not being stored by WhatsApp. They don't even have access to it. The only person who can see it, read it, is the recipient of your message. So you don't have to stress about that. But the metadata, like I said, is open game and it can be used for various purposes. Now, with this newest privacy policy, basically you have WhatsApp saying we're going to give this meta information to Facebook. And of course, this kind of drives a bit of uncertainty, doubt, confusion, and even fear in a lot of people. Now, in the grand scheme of things, metadata is not inherently evil. What I mean by that is that metadata, yes, it is in fact used for advertising. It does collect your activity so it can tailor stuff for you. So ultimately you can buy more stuff or be lured by, certain ads or whatnot. However, metadata also helps us in many ways. Take Google Maps, for example. Google Maps is highly accurate, and that would not be possible without the mass collection of information from users like me and you all the time. So you go on the highway and the GPS tells you, hey, you know what, take a detour, get off this road and go through another road. That's because it's collecting information about the users ahead of you and seeing what their speed is, where their location is, and it's collecting information real time and drawing a picture, which ultimately fuels your convenience. Of course, take out metadata and a lot of these services would be kind of mediocre, if not outright terrible. So it's this tug of war, to be honest, where metadata is kind of a more objective thing, and of course the more of it you share, the more of your privacy is kind of being let go, at least in some context, and the more of your convenience increases. But go the other way, your convenience and functionality starts dropping with many of these services, but your privacy starts going up. So that's where the subjective perception of it comes. It's really up to you as a consumer to decide where you think is enough if it compromises your privacy to provide you functionality you need, and where it's not. Now in WhatsApp's case, they kind of took a gun to your head and said, accept or die. And a lot of people didn't take that well, understandably so. So that's kind of the overall context of where metadata fits in and how WhatsApp intends to use it in the near future. The final piece I want to talk about is how this entire controversy and chaos around WhatsApp kind of fueled the rise of some other smaller messenger apps, especially ones that follow the theme of privacy. So you may have heard of Signal, and if you haven't already, I'm pretty sure you will, at least from this video or from another one, most definitely. So Signal basically is another messenger app, much smaller than WhatsApp, and this app basically goes on the promise of security and privacy. It does not share your metadata with anyone. In fact, they claim they don't even collect most of your metadata, and of course, like WhatsApp, your messages are end-to-end encrypted, meaning no one can read your context except for you and the recipient of your message or call or video or whatever it is you're sharing. However, the thing with apps like Signal is they're relatively new, and I definitely think they have potential, but simply having a bunch of people switch over to them will not necessarily make them the best app from a user experience point of view. So WhatsApp is where it is because it has years of development behind its back. It has used a lot of metadata to determine the best UI features, and I don't think WhatsApp is fantastic in its UI, but it's definitely one of the better apps, and there's a reason billions of people actually use it. Whoa, Shapar, are you siding on WhatsApp? No, I'm not at all. All I'm saying is that yes, apps like Signal offer far better privacy from a user perspective. And if that is something that's sensitive to you, I would wholeheartedly say at least give the app a try. You may like it. And there are actually millions of people just like you right now who are considering apps like Signal. And this may actually create a wave. Elon Musk actually tweeted, use Signal. This further fueled it. And in fact, I believe in most app stores at the time of this video, Signal is the #1 trending messenger app. So like I said, there's plenty of potential for it to replace WhatsApp, but the primary intent of this video, or the purpose, is to kind of shed some perspective on metadata, on why WhatsApp is under so much scrutiny right now, and what this means ultimately, of course, for you. I hope I was able to answer this. Also, it is worth noting once again, at the time of this video, WhatsApp has delayed this new privacy policy to mid-May, and it's not happening immediately. So you have at least till May to make a decision if you want to continue using WhatsApp or if you want to change it. And I do believe WhatsApp will be putting some clarifications as to exactly how Facebook will be using this information, and hopefully Facebook will be putting some clarification on their end as well. So take that all into consideration, take it as you will, digest it, and see where you stand with it, how you feel about it. All in all, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was of some insight to you. I'll also leave a link to a couple of articles that I personally saw that have some good context around what metadata is. So check those out if you want to. Subscribe to my channel if you like the content. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Solve Tech, logging out.